Oh, dude. So I read a book. I have a recumbent bike pedal thing that I keep under my desk. So when I'm doing cardio, I sit down and I can just like pedal under my desk. And so I decided to go ahead and read this entire book, basically in one sitting. It is called Z for Zachariah, and it's a young adult novel that I read when I was a kid. And I was like, I'm thinking about this book, and I want to go ahead and reread it. And I did. And here's what the book is about. The book is about a like a nuclear holocaust of some kind has occurred. There's been a war, and it caused a lot of radiation fallout. And the story follows this like teenage girl whose parents, like when the radios and telephones all turned off, they left the house to go find out what happened, and they never came back. And she lives in like a valley, and there's something about this like valley that the radiation can't come through. Like, I don't know. I don't even know if this is scientifically accurate. It just is what happened in the book. And then like she sees the smoke from a fire. Like she knows that everybody everywhere is dead. There are no trees. There are no animals. There are no, she can't, there's no birds flying around anymore except for the crows that live in the valley. So everybody's fucking dead. There's nobody on the radios, no electricity, no telephone service. The book is called Z for Zachariah by Robert O'Brien. And she sees a fire in the distance, and she's like, oh, well, that means that someone is alive. And it ends up being a man who has the world's only radioactive proof suit. The conceit is that he and his lab partner were like creating like the world's very first radioactive proof suit for the US Army. And then this attack on US soil happens, and obviously like they only made the one suit. So he gets in the one suit and is like looking for life anywhere, and he stumbles upon this valley, and she's like smart enough to want to stay distant from him because she's like, I don't know what this person is like. I don't know if this is going to be a nice person. I don't know if this is going to be like a mean person or whatever. And he does something stupid, which is that he tests one of the water sources in the valley, which is a spring, not irradiated because it's a spring. And then he sees another water source and thinks that it's the same water source, but it's actually the irradiated water source that it starts outside the valley and comes through the valley and then leaves. He gets in the irradiated water because he's excited and he doesn't check. And he ends up really, really sick with radiation poisoning. And then she decides to go take care of him, and she helps him recover. And then he tries to rape her. And then she leaves the house, and she's like, look, we're the only two fucking people alive. If you just let me continue to... She's got chickens and cows and stuff. It's like a little farmhouse situation. She's like, if you will just let me milk the cow, and I'll run the tractor and grow all the food, and I'll just leave your portion of the food on your porch, like, that's fine. I'm just gonna go live somewhere else. And then he like systematically tries to catch her, and at the end of the book she's like, I don't want to kill him. And I'm like, bro, I would have, she had already moved her guns out of the house, and I was like, girl, you have to kill this man. Like, he tried to rape you after you helped him recover from radiation sickness. And she had even been thinking like, oh, if he gets better. So this is before she knew anything about him. She's like, oh, if he gets better, we're kind of the only two people alive. I could imagine myself like getting married and trying to have some kind of life with him. And it's like, if he didn't try to rape her, that probably would have been the direction things went anyway. Of course, he might have been thinking of it from a pragmatic perspective of like, I have to, but it's like, he was just a really controlling dude. Like, he was written as like, he has to have control over everything. He has to be in charge of everything. He's going to take possession of her instead of treat her like an equal. And so what she ends up doing at the end of the book is she steals the suit and leaves the valley to go find other people somewhere else and like leaves him stranded there. Which, like, girl, I'm like, again, you have a completely self-sufficient situation. You're sitting here with land. You're sitting here with like access to what was in the store down the street. So, you know, like you have the potential to just live this out long term. So she didn't shoot him. At one point, he shoots her in the ankle on purpose in an attempt to get her to like have no choice but to come back, basically. He tries to trap her a couple different times. Like, it's up. He tracks her with her own dog. And yeah, I'm like, bro, you should have shot that guy. Definitely should have shot that guy. I don't even know what the point of the story is. Having read it now, I'm like, okay, first of all, it was written by a man. We can see that. Robert O'Brien, we know. Because, like, I feel like in that survival situation, if it's like, I have guns, I grew up in the country, this is my house, like my family is dead, but I have the cows, I have the chickens. Is it a horror novel? Not really. It doesn't really play like a horror novel. I mean, it's a young adult, so... But I'm like, what message is that? Like, what's the message in the story? Turn the other cheek? Like, is this a religious message? Like, yeah, married the suit. Let's go. True. Thinking of marriage when you're the only two people alive is hilarious to me. Yeah, I think that... I mean, so basically, like, she is religious and she visits the church, but she's like 16 and she's from the country. So, like you could understand why she has those beliefs, you know? And it almost seems like she doesn't directly think of God as like a supernatural being. It seems really more like she goes to church to self-soothe in a way. So it's like almost not a statement about like metaphysical truth so much as it is like a comforting habit that she goes through. If you can't make him leave your own home, then just make him leave the mortal coil already. I swear there is no law. Anyway, he's hurting you. Yeah, truly. Like, if you're in a situation where like there's no law, there's no cosmic horror, the message sounds like the empty bleakness of humanity. Well, okay, so weirdly enough, so she likes English and she wanted to be an English teacher before the world fell apart. And when she leaves, and for like the few days when she's planning to leave, she's like having dreams about and thinking about some children that she could help somewhere else. So when she leaves the valley, she's like, I don't know where they are, but I'm going to them. So it's like I got a weirdly hopeful thing at the end. Like, I don't understand. I don't know. I just remembered the premise of the book being like, okay, it seems like she's the last person alive, and then there's a man who shows up, and I kind of didn't remember any of the book past that point. I Can Fix Him, the novel, fucking true. Like her just slowly coming to the realization that she cannot coexist with this man, and that in order to have a good life, she has to leave. But you could have had a good life if you just shot him and just drag his body to the irradiated stream that you're already not going to drink out of, and let the stream carry his body out of your valley forever. You don't even have to dig. Or I guess if you wanted to do something beneficial, you could put it in the other stream and like have the fish eat him. That at least would be a benefit to your little valley situation because there's fish in one of the streams. The girl self-sacrifices and doesn't push back against the man who hurts her in an effort to raise children somewhere. Who wrote this? Truly, I don't know. Why did I read this book? It was pretty easy to read is part of it. And I guess it hit a little nostalgia point, but I'm like, bro, the moment, okay, so because the thing is too, that he tries to rape her before he's fully recovered. Like he's still using a cane to get around after having like severe radiation sickness. Shoot him. What the fuck is wrong with you? Anyway, so that's my review of Z for Zachariah. This book probably hits hard if you are that kind of man. Reminds me of when I tried to watch Silence of the Lambs and literally couldn't get through 5 minutes without breaking down laughing. My ex was so hurt that I didn't think it was cool. Oh no. Should have left him in the irradiated pond. Yeah. I guess she was just like, I hope that he lives. Like, I don't know. He did get himself out of the pond, but yeah, push him in there later. But yeah, he was just a man who desired control. And his lab partner tried to leave with the suit because he was like, I gotta go find my wife and son, and the guy was like, yo, they're dead, and I'm not gonna let you waste the only fucking suit in the world on going to find out if your wife and son are dead, which they definitely are. And then he ends up shooting that guy and killing him. So that's kind of like a conceit of the whole thing, is like, she knows from pretty early on, while he was sick, that he shot the dude because he's having all these delirious dreams and he's talking in his sleep and stuff. And then she looks at the suit and sees that it's been shot through and patched. Like there were bullet holes and they were patched so that the suit would continue to maintain its integrity. So I'm like, okay, you knew from the beginning that he like was gonna he shot and killed a guy because he wanted to control the suit and who had it. Just ignoring all the red flags, ignoring every red flag. It's gonna be time to thank my Patreon supporters. Thank you so much to Ing Marie, Ali T, Elvie Nobody, Bo E, Tiago Nascimento, Mersh Rolvag, In a Box, Sarah A, Wellington Marcus, Michelle Frateroli, Michelle Winter, Danielle McDonald, DZXN, Suzanne Maynard, Jamie Jam, Nova, Sojo, Desi Quiche, Kevin Young, Celeste, Liam Hodgson, Mr. Atheist, Athiette, and Amanda B.